Welcome back to Berlin for our final game of the MSI group stage. A spot in the semifinals is on the line as Fnatic and Team Liquid battle it out in this epic NA versus EU matchup. And as we did with the last tiebreaker match, I first want to recap the two meetings that these teams had throughout the group stage, starting with game number 1.
Yeah, these guys have been back and forth. Game 1, it looked like it was Fnatic's tournament right here. You can see it's close in the early game. But this game, actually, Rekkles and Caps both got going and were able to carry through TL's composition.
And that was the big Yasuo performance from Caps, as well as Rekkles actually finding a win onto his Sivir. So a lot of Fnatic fans, they've wanted to push away from the ADC, but we have proof it did work at one point for Fnatic.
Yeah, this is actually the game where Fnatic said, hey, this proves we can play Comfort.
Yep. And at this point, this is when people are talking about MVP candidacy for Caps in that mid lane. Of course, struggling as of late. Pushes forward to the second game between these teams. This is the one that Team Liquid came out on top.
Yeah, and Team Liquid looked incredibly good in this one. Again, both AD carries on Comfort with Jhin for Doublelift. We had the Sivir there for Rekkles, but this was much more, a dominant game for Team Liquid. You look at the gold draft, Team Liquid got ahead from level 1. They moved around the map, took down all the turrets. There was
5 Drakes.
Really one glimmer of hope for Fnatic off of a nice mid lane fight. The Hylissang engaged, but really this one was very cold, calculated, and controlled.
And the thing is you see that Karma pick there. There was a lot of outcry, why isn't Caps on a playmaking champion like we saw success in game number 1.
All right, that brings us to this tiebreaker here. Do or die for both of these teams if they want to make it to Paris. So down the line, predictions and your reasons why.
Okay, I've got good news for NA fans. I have an 80% prediction rate on Team Liquid, and I've got TL
How
for
many
this
of those are
game.
losses?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know the number.
Because it's 80%. The only two that I've missed are the EVOS
That's still not
upset
how
and the
many
King Zone.
All right, fair enough. Azael?
Yeah, I'm going with TL as well. I think we've seen more and more. It just feels like the name of the game is who has the better bottom lane. We saw Uzi heavily outclassing, in 2 straight matchups. I think Rekkles has really been a big underperformer. People were expecting a lot more from him coming into this tournament. Doublelift has looked a lot better. I expect that trend to continue, and I think that means you win.
Jack, you don't look confident.
Dash, I'm thinking about MSI and Worlds history.
Okay.
Every time there is a tiebreaker game with North America international events, they seem to lose. Looking at MSI history, or even Worlds history, North America has a higher win percentage in group stage, but it always seems to be the European team winning in the clutch. But we just saw a lot of graphs. We
saw a lot of graphs.
And one thing they preach when you're trying to invest in stocks is past performance is not indicative of future performance.
All right. So we're playing the stock market is all I've learned, and
yeah.
I'm
super nervous.
TL gets 4th place if they win, baby. Let's go!
There it is. It's in the cards, the heart of the cards. It's time to find out if the last team in semifinals is going to be Fnatic or Team Liquid. Let's hand it off to Freak, Papa Xmithie, and Officio.
Well, as the neutral party here, Papa Xmithie, 4th place. Is it Liquid's time or is it Fnatic's time?
I don't know.
Okay, neither do I.
Great answer.
Good job. We're starting out on a bang here in this one. Team Liquid versus Fnatic. I believe Fnatic got side choice. They chose blue, compared to when Royal actually had side choice. They chose red, interestingly enough. Of course, that did work on Royal's side, and here we have this one.
Yeah, so yesterday when Fnatic and Team Liquid played each other, it was TL on blue side, early picking their jungler and grabbing a Jhin, and Fnatic didn't want to play Rakan, and I like this first ban a lot against Team Liquid. Team Liquid's first picked it.
What's he gonna do now?
I do too, and I also like the NALCS ban here on Yasuo. We heard the analysts talk about the game's been mostly about who has the better bottom lane, but despite the fact that Doublelift had a better tournament than Rekkles, Caps has more than made up for that and has stepped up to the plate on champions like this Yasuo, maybe even the Vladimir ban coming afterwards, but Caps has been the carry to step up when Rekkles has not.
Well, every AD carry ban we see, we get close to the final destination, Sivir versus Jhin lane, to truly find out who is the strongest of these two teams. And Morgana banned away, so a lot of the comfort for TL is banned away by Fnatic.
We also gotta mention the Braum that is being picked by Hylissang. Almost every time it is open, it makes it even harder for Fnatic to win this laning phase against some of these ranged supports. It is the Rakan being locked in. Now,
but what does it mean?
That's the thing. Fnatic against Team Liquid yesterday also took Rakan in their first rotation on red side, but did not take Xayah after. Team Liquid responded with Jhin, Tahm, Kench when they saw Rakan, and that's where Rekkles stepped away from Xayah and grabbed Sivir instead. TL can do the same.
And we'll see what they want to go for here with Malzahar off the table. Of course, Pobelter needs a new pick, and Karma will be that flex. Now, can be a liability in the laning phase. You land the combo. She's a squishy champion. You can kill her in the 2-on-2, but Pobelter It's been better when he's on a utility mage so they can sit back, easily wave clear, and just be there for utility on the team. Doesn't have to land major skill shots like it does become a flex here.
Where the priority comes, it could just be an entire bot lane, be very different from the Tahm, Kench, and Jhin they took last time. Could be Karma Kog'Maw looking for some power in the 2v2, but the Kog'Maw is the selection here. Let's see if they actually complete Xayah Rakan. Usually means they're going to play for lane a bit more.
Let's see, yeah, because we know Hylissang is fantastic on Rakan. He already showed us some of the engages against Team Liquid when Fnatic were down and needed a good fight to get back in the game. He was the one who started it. It is ticking down, and it's gonna be Xayah Rakan. They did not want to play it yesterday, but today Rekkles is saying we need something different in the bot lane, and this is what we asked for. More flexibility in the draft from Fnatic.
And more lane pressure, which is a big thing. We've seen so many jungle matchups be changed by mid and bot lane priority. Team Liquid looking like their best Royal Never Give Up impression, trying to find the ways to raise the puppy Doublelift here on what's likely to be a Kog'Maw there in the bottom lane, a Karma mid, a Tahm Kench support, top and jungle still to show, but built around Doublelift.
They really don't want to leverage the flex pick like we've seen RNG do so expertly to the end of the draft on the red side. Happy to lock it in. Does mean that they will have the ability to counter-pick jungle potentially here. They know about the Trundle already. It's just going to be a Gragas game again for Xmithie.
It could be, but I really want to highlight Aurelion Sol as an option in the mid lane. You can take it against the Karma. It works wonders with Xayah Rakan if you want to play around the bottom lane, and it is available in this draft here. It's not banned away, just a Zoe removed.
But grabbing Aurelion Sol puts your late game faith on Rekkles, a man who has not stepped up so far this tournament. A Sol is a champion who will fall off, but does have a phenomenal early and mid game, and it'll be a pick of play styles if they do that versus, say, a Vladimir who will scale into the late game. Those are the two picks I think we're looking at for Caps. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Team Liquid do not have the chance for Ornn. They do have a Sion or Shen up for the top side, though.
Yeah, also, just quick pick to add for Caps, the Corki. Something he's gone back to when really needed, and he can be a late game carry on it. There's the Gragas by Xmithie. You already mentioned it. Xmithie looked good in the team fights on it in the last game.
And it's with Graves up. You know, a lot of teams are taking Graves in this position, but no priority shown by Xmithie. The Gragas, as long as you don't opt into those trades early, should be able to skirt around the Trundle. Looking for Fnatic to lock in those solo lanes. Would end up being a blind pick on the Gangplank, and into Impact, that top lane tank player, you don't necessarily respect the carries to try to attack it in the 1v1.
I wouldn't necessarily hate even a Galio right now for Caps. You've got the Rakan to dive in. You've got on a front line you can add into that and find some really strong hard engage. You can help the Gangplank split push as well. Impact often left on an island, but no, Taliyah grabbing in for the mid lane, has good laning, has good late game, and still can roam down to the bottom lane as well. This is a very well-rounded pick for Caps.
Of course, it is a comp from Fnatic that is fairly squishy. They are against a late game carry on Doublelift, and they're against a very strong front line that not only has the Gragas, but also just shielding from a Karma, a Devour from a Tahm Kench. There's a lot of ways for Team Liquid to play these team fights, and we actually look to get a Vladimir top lane in the end.
I can almost hear the analyst desk considering backpedaling now as they need to put their faith on a top lane carry performance from Impact. He'll probably stick with the Ignite, look to attack in lane. This is a classic counter pick onto the Gangplank because you can turret dive so easily while you're requiring Impact to show an attempt at speed, an attempt at aggression that is counted against Team Liquid more than it's counted for.
Yeah, and we have to remember the jungle pick. It's a slow scaling one for Xmithie. Yeah, you can gank with it, but you don't want to try and 1v1 a Trundle. So it gets a little bit harder for Team Liquid if they want to set up any aggressive tower dives in the early game, because if Broxah is there, he wins the trade.
And you've got a matchup right now with what looks like priority in the middle and bottom lanes here for Fnatic. Caps, I think this has outperformed Pobelter. In regards to the matchup, I think he'll have the pressure, and Xayah Rakan is a famously scary 2-on-2. I can't see Tahm Kench plus a Kog'Maw winning that battle. This will be the last time these teams face off until Rift Rivals. We know both these teams will be back there for that in the middle of Summer Split, but someone's going to win this extended best of 3. 1-1 in the head-to-head. Only one of these teams will be that final squad of the knockout stage in that top 4. Caps on your screen, hoping to lead the charge and have it be Europe's Fnatic that takes the win here.
This game looked so unlikely to happen 2 days ago. Team Liquid had lost so many games. Fnatic had already 4 wins under their belt, but classic international tournament fashion, we had to get the EU versus NA tiebreaker. Fnatic's been losing almost everything, and Team Liquid has won almost all their games to get to this point.
Only one team can go to Paris, Freak, and it's so exciting to introduce these teams because I think we're going to have a fiery one, and the level 1 is where I have my eyes most closely glued. There's certainly some shenanigans that can happen.
This is going to be a fun one here as we've loaded now onto Summoner's Rift. Caps gets hit real quick.
All right, game is over.
Yeah, Pobelter, 100% of all damage.
Yep.
1v9. And Xmithie kites back.
The reason why I talk about the level 1 is actually we saw quite a lot of karma into Taliyah in the LCK, and while Gragas, like you mentioned, Deficio, doesn't want to be skirmishing against a Trundle around a Scuttle Crab, the Flash and Body Slam engage, the Tether to set it up. No Ignite from Pobelter. But if you're seeing a half health or slightly above half health Taliyah in the mid lane, there is that outside chance Pobelter can get a good lead. And remember, while we haven't seen it this tournament, Banner of Command to answer the Taliyah's roams is also possible from the Karma.
Yeah, the goal is always to keep the dematerialized stacks so you can kill the first few banners and then you can make plays in the mid game. And once you get further, the AD carry will be holding mid anyway and can take care of whatever Pobelter puts down. And we get the level 1 invade. It is spotted. Team Liquid defensive setup.
And Impact's Vladimir, of course, not a great level 1 champion. Doesn't fight for much, so Fnatic going for the invade on red. Spotted out, and Impact trying to slow them down a little bit. Not sure how much he'll be able to gain. Xmithie going to kite back around. He will find Broxah with the W. Can they fight for this red? Xmithie gets the smite with a red buff on. Bwipo's in kind of a bad spot. Impact kiting away, getting a bit low on health. He's got to respect the damage output. They've got Bwipo in their sights. He flashes, and he cannot get it. First blood.
Oh, there might even be more fighting now, but Broxah and Caps look to run away. Xmithie is level 2 with the red buff.
They learn Body Slam for maybe a Body Slam flash. Not going to go for much here. Has alone time with his Raptors.
So Team Liquid, they predict Fnatic will invade with the stronger early jungler. They will look for something. Xmithie does not run down to his blue buff. He walks around, and the very important Smite War. Who gets red buff? Who gets level 2? It's Team Liquid. Perfect start for them and the worst possible start for Fnatic.
And only with their level 1 vision was that play possible, because you note that Xmithie steals W first, walks in, and then he has a burst combo that's not available to Broxah. Goes for that extra auto attack. The red buff falls to 600. Drunken Rage auto plus smite. Clean stuff from Xmithie.
And let's see it one more time.
So with that extra information, I think TL actually problem-solved this very, very well. Broxah and Bwipo walk up. Xmithie does the do-si-do, walks all the way around the other side, and waits for it to fall low.
Yeah, this is great when you win the Smite War. It's not great when you lose the Smite, and that is why Fnatic ends up getting punched. Caps level 3 roaming top lane.
Early to Impact, still level 1, and as Vladimir gets 2, he can go for the Sanguine Pool if he needs to disengage much of this, and just gets pulled back. Looks like he's yet to pull the trigger. Has empowered Q now. He can heal up and is going to survive Bwipo. TP possibility coming in as Pobelter here to keep the lane alive, maybe unneeded.
Well, wants to make sure that Bwipo and Fnatic do not go for any sort of kills here. This actually reminds me of the very first game Bwipo played for Fnatic in the EU LCS. Caps was on Taliyah. He walked top lane level 3 and just started tower diving the enemy top lane to get Bwipo rolling. He's doing the same thing here, but this time, in fact, did stay alive.
Definitely need that assistance when you are the Gangplank on the top side because of how the matchup does go inevitably. No Ignite left open or anything like that, but nice little bit of damage as we return to the top side.
I want to give quick credit to Team Liquid's duo lane as well. In a game where they knew there was no jungle pressure, they've actually managed to outlane a Xayah Rakan duo, one that's so happy to take fights. But it's actually the push and farm lead towards Doublelift and Olleh.
Yeah, I think this Tahm Kench lane, only really level 1 is where you don't look for a fight. After that, Tahm Kench is actually a much stronger laner than a lot of people give him credit for. And obviously with Doublelift, as long as he doesn't get all in without Olleh right there to devour him, well then there's not really any kill pressure for Fnatic's bot lane yet. I think the goal is more hit your level 6, get your Taliyah coming down, and then the combination of multiple champions is going to be hard to avoid for Team Liquid. Broxah is looking for something top. They really want to get Bwipo going.
It is still a flashless Vladimir. Watch out for the possible barrel chain. There's that one. He's going to not duck under in time. He takes the damage. Impact could be in a bad spot. Empowered Q available. And there's no one in range. He's got to run away from this one. Turn the Ignite to a TP and get back in.
Oh, I think Broxah could maybe have stepped in for another hit and then flashed away, but they didn't 100% know where Xmithie would be on the map. He's actually top lane at the moment. He's going with his one. Bwipo is recalling. Might not get there in time. Oh, Bwipo, he's going to die now.
Recall. Q. Ignite is going to stop it. Oh, Impact is 5 HP. The minions actually get the kill. An unassisted one at that, but the trade is in.
And in the end, because they have to use the jungler's attention, you'd probably say advantage goes to the side of Fnatic in that trade. The minions doing the dirty work there. Yes, they were some EU minions.
Well, we are in Germany here for this one. Nice separation, knock up only into Olleh. Pulls him right back out, but suddenly a Taliyah Caps is here, looking for the pressure. Can he find the knockback on Olleh, who kites forward, has the thick skin, and doesn't even have to burn the flash. Broxah is here to backfill in case he's a gank.
Yeah, great dodge here from Olleh. Very important because Caps was setting up for roam number 2 that will happen once he hits level 6.
That was an insane investment from Caps. He flashed over the wall to pull off that turret dive.
He's gone all in for these different ganks. Let's see the one in top lane. Broxah with red buff. They know the pool is gone. They know there's no flash from Impact. But they don't stay and just give him that last little bump in the head.
I think a single auto from Broxah wouldn't have been enough. I think it would have been about 10 HP short. We watched the replay here. Ends up taking the aggro. And the auto attack draws the aggro and ends up being that trade.
Well, it's still plus gold to Team Liquid, but without teleport available because the Ignite was on cooldown because of that. He couldn't get back to catch the lane again, so this is a big farm lead for Bwipo. Got the early Hex Drinker in. He's going to feel pretty safe in this matchup.
Caps using his flash for that turret dive and not getting a kill can be oh so important because Gragas' cask is soon up. A flash for the tether, a cask, and a kill onto Caps is very possible.
That's why we need to see Caps get out of this lane here and actually use this ulti. He's been setting up a gank in top, a gank in bot without it. Now it is available. That last one, stop the recall, and Xmithie gets it in the end.
Well, it does buy him like 7 seconds or something, and the Gragas will be off the map, but a small temporary experience lead. As Broxah can go back through his jungle, does get spotted top side, and now Impact has his flash available, but Bwipo 6. A level lead and 2/3 of a level at this.
And let's marvel at the vision that's been placed by Team Liquid. We already saw that Broxah's in a ward, double control ward bot side for that fabled mid-pressure and mid-priority to stop the Taliyah from being able to roam unbeknownst. So it's only going to be a top side roam that you'd think would be successful from the Taliyah. Great information open to TL. They look like it's just a different team than we saw on the Rift a couple of days ago.
Absolutely agree on this one. You can almost say the same for Fnatic, who had such an incredible run in the middle part of the group stage. After maybe a rough day one, they won a lot in a row. Either way, it's come down to this, and the gold is dead even, so you can't call a favorite just yet on this one. Xmithie back to the top side. Bwipo has everything available, though. Impact kind of showing is level 6, so this could be the big fight. How can he outplay this? Barrels are up. A lot of damage coming across the explosive cask. Not yet pulled in, as they find for the damage output, pushing him back around. Impact will not get smacked down. Xmithie gets the kill, but here comes the roam topside. Broxah and Caps joining in for this one. Impact does not have a way out. He can charge for some damage, but he will be killed off. A nice trade for Fnatic.
But it's just a trade, 1 kill for 1 kill. Pobelter staying mid lane and can push in this entire wave here, so Caps will see some of these minions die. Bwipo with the Hex String against double AP. Let's see it all in.
A lot of damage on Olleh, only level 5. He's got a lot of damage on him, will stay alive, but now Doublelift fighting back. Rekkles is 6, Hylissang is not.
There's still potions on Olleh's side, so he's happy taking the damage here if it means Doublelift gets the free hit onto Rekkles. And this is the all-in from Fnatic that we might see more of once Hylissang hits level 6, but ideally they have a Taliyah roaming down as well.
And ideally, Hylissang's not laning with teleport if they're looking for an all-in like that. Didn't have Ignite.
We didn't go for the ulti on top of it, but did look for the Devour on cooldown. So now next round could be good against Doublelift that Devour's on cooldown for a few seconds.
Let's remember Pobelter's TP is ready. In case a fight breaks out, he could instantly show up in the bottom lane.
Sounds a bit unstable here.
Thanks, Taliyah.
Thank you, Khan. Was it Taliyah?
Yeah.
In a way, we don't care.
I do. The ground is a bit unstable here. What she means is this one hangs in the balance, and either team could tip it over to their side.
I thought we were the esports announcers for this game.
No, it's the Freak Taliyah duo cast. Me and Caps got this one. It's still an NAEU. Group are going to find almost a knockup on Olleh. It has to flash out of it. Nice play from Hylissang. TP didn't make that happen.
And they punish the lack of flash now. Caps has been focusing his attention to top side. Rekkles and Hylissang staying somewhat even, and CS slightly down compared to Doublelift. Of course, he's still rushing towards that Rage Blade. on his side. Typically still see the Essence Reaver for Xayah come in first. Hylissang gets a few wards in. Will spot Xmithie at the Grump.
Always fun to see a transfer in power when it comes to the Vision game. Previously, we were complimenting TL, but the double control ward has been cleared on the bot side. In fact, not yet has been able to get any sort of foothold in this map. We haven't even talked about the CS lead the GP has. It is a 29 CS lead. Got a lot of help, a lot of jungle attention from Broxah, but it's definitely delaying the time where Impact can just run at Gangplank and force him out of lane.
Looking for the pillar. Olleh might be in a bad spot. Knocked in the air. Does not have flash. Does not have a way out. Rooted in place. The charm comes in. Rekkles grabs the kill. Number 3 on the game now for Fnatic. And there might be a re-engage as Caps walks up. Spots Xmithie on the ward. They see each other here. Potential 4v2 under the turret. Teleport up for Pobelter.
Just by being here, Caps will actually force TL to step back a little bit and use the TP from Pobelter. Now Fnatic can just step away and get that big summoner on cooldown. So very smart play, and it all starts with them having a bot lane that can force plays in the early game. They force the flash from Olleh, then Broxah moves down, and they are playing around Rekkles and Hylissang to get an advantage.
And they're also playing around the transfer in mid-priority that we talked about, where the control wards that gave TL all the roam to bot side were removed. It was Fnatic controlling that area. Olleh walked up without flash, and he was thusly punished by Fnatic.
And it's just a completely different early game compared to the one we saw yesterday between the two teams, where Fnatic had to sit back, play very passive. Team Liquid fully controlled the game and had all the lanes they could play around. Now we have a roaming mid from Caps, and we have a bot lane that can force fights.
And I just love these seesaw of control games where teams get tricked up on small things that evolve as things as small as vision lines really dictate the plays. Now TL trying to recreate some control bot side. Love to pick up the first Drake of that game, the Infernal Drake, but for now they know that even with deep vision, they're not really in a position to start the Drake.
Xmithie, though, wants to see if he can do something, because he knows if he just leaves the bot lane on their own, they might get ganked by 5 members, or at least 4 and GP ult. Hylissang looking for more in the bottom lane.
It's the knock up on the Olleh. Not going to go for much more. Kites right back out, but pretty good damage at a Doublelift here. Got to respect the damage up, but when you don't see the Kog'Maw now looking for the body. Sun forcing flash at the Caps, and Pobelter can now walk in for the root. This could be a kill, but first they knock down Xmithie, and he betrays the damage output. Pope can't get anything else in. Gangplank ult shows up, but not quite the assist. Another great kill for Fnatic.
A lot of front-loaded damage as Xmithie was looking for the perfect cask, and then even a defensive cask wasn't going to be enough to keep him up. So Fnatic roll through in the 2v2 as bot lane. It's time to Devour should do its job. And it's starting to look like wins all across the board, nearly getting the root onto Olleh as well. Doublelift tries to trade back on a Hylissang. Fnatic getting so much now out of this mid game.
So good to see Hylissang and Rekkles play aggressive in this bot lane. We're still waiting for Caps and roam number 3, 4, 5, a million, whatever it is, because he's been active since level 2, going towards the top side. Now he has ulti ready. Team Liquid are playing defensive. They know they have Doublelift in the late game. They know they have a composition that can protect him, but they need to get there. Again, one of the missing pieces of the puzzle for Team Liquid is the reason that drafts like this work with the Vladimir top side is that Vladimir runs at the Gangplank. He's got the Shurelya's already, uses ult, his Ignite, and Bwipo has to use his ult defensively to stop there being cross-map plays. That just happened about 20 seconds ago. That needs to happen basically every time they know that Gangplank ult is off cooldown. Otherwise, if it's used bot lane, we know advantages will stack up for Fnatic. He's just trading back and forth. He's got a significant level lead, 10-8 currently. Actually beautiful by Bwipo in this top side, nullifying impact entirely. And there's the Weaver's Wall looking to find this kill. Olleh does not have a flash to keep Doublelift safe. Here comes the charm. Double's going to flash away, but this will be a dead Tahm. Kench, he's going to go back to the bench for this one. He's still trying to run. They don't quite have the attacks. Are you serious? Finally, the chomp comes in for Broxah kill us here, but here comes Liquid. Yeah, he bought a lot of time. Xmithie, Pobelter showing up. The turret will die very soon. And that's going to be first turret, and now nothing to hide behind here. A great play out of this one. Just a quick channel, guaranteed all they needed out of this. Fnatic just continuing to find more and more in this game. That's exactly the play we talked about with Olleh sitting without the flash. Just move down with your mid laner and jungler, secure the first turret of the game. 4,000 gold lead for a team that has lost the early game in the last few games they've played. Colonel Drake may be the only sparing solace for the side of TL. The Gangplank keeps doing Gangplank things. Pobelter's been roamed on pretty significantly by Caps. Very nice use of the Weaver's Wall there around objectives. Perhaps a preview of how the mid to late game will play out. Colonel Drake picked up. Team Liquid needs some breathing room because plays like this are amping up the tempo of the local crowd and Fnatic. There's nothing you can do here if you are the bot lane of Team Liquid other than just leave earlier. That's effectively at the moment the wall comes in. The no flash Tahm can shoot this die quickly, and Fnatic probably thought he was gonna die quick, but that heal from Doublelift baited them slightly. Luckily, they actually managed to take him down. Let's see. Pobelter's TP is soon ready, but he's not been able to actually use it offensively. He's been trying to save the bot lane, and sadly for Team Liquid, it didn't work.
Credit where credit's due to Caps. He has gotten all around the map. He's gotten out of that mid lane, still farming very well against Pobelter. Has actually the farm lead, but he's gotten top lane to make sure Impact doesn't snowball ahead. He's gotten bot lane to help him get first turret, and now looking at another dive in his lane. Fnatic pressing all across the map. This turret getting down below half HP. Still no one is stopping Rekkles to get this one. Hylissang can easily jump away and not rooted up by Pobelter. The minion wave will fall, but not after about 4,000 health lost off that turret.
It's what you can do when you early kill a turret in a lane. You got pushed in by Fnatic bot lane, the minion wave is slowly gonna push back towards them, and then when the enemy AD carry is stuck there farming, you just go mid and you start hitting the enemy turret.
There's very little respect when it comes to the side of Team Liquid. If you know that Vladimir, he doesn't have a scary teleport play. Xmithie's in vision, trying to help wave clear. Definitely been a great game by Rekkles, as we showed with the little side hop there after a struggle in the previous times. He finally trusts in the Xayah Rakan.
Oh, they both get grabbed, and Olleh didn't kind of find the teammate in time. Flashes to make sure he can disengage in time and keep Doublelift safe. Caps and just everyone on Fnatic taking turns carrying right now. Impact getting a bit low. Channels for a bit of a slow. Gets shot again, and Bwipo continues to win this matchup. Rekkles, look at this turret slowed down, but no one to stop him. 2 turrets to 0 now. And Fnatic roaming topside. Impact's days are numbered. Here comes the charm, looking for a little bit. Hylissang will be found out, jumps across, gets the knock-up, the knockback, the kill is in. At least a trade kill for Impact, but it's still plus an assist and alone time with that turret.
Let's give some credit to Impact for surviving so often, but let's see bot lane is 2v1.
Pobelter might get away from the root as he flashes upwards, but Broxah now has a pillar in his face, and that will be another kill answered on that side of the map. TL can clear waves, but now look at a dive with Xmithie to get the knockback, the flash forward. Bwipo's here, what a beautiful cast, but look at the healing, there's just too much. Body slam, can't pull him back in. Weaver's Wall is going to guarantee it, and Olleh is just ulted into nothing. Can he even find Bwipo? That's the question. As
Doublelift is coming
down, gets pushed around, Caps finds yet another. It's 9-4 in kills. Doublelift wants in, Impact the same, but he's got to respect Caps. The flash forward, the damage might just be there. Doublelift does finally get one, but Impact needs another, or it's going to be all for nothing. Finds a slow, but knocks into the air. Can he get him? No, he cannot. Bwipo able to kite away. Impact can't find the kill. Fnatic constantly outplaying Team Liquid.
It is fantastic to watch an aggressive Fnatic here in this mid game. They're just forcing plays left and right. Bwipo chased down that kill, took so much damage from the turret, and Doublelift tried to come up in the end to get the kill onto him, but he only managed to kill Caps.
This team just excels under enemy lines. They've been so aggressive around the plays, all of it off the fulcrum of Bwipo winning a matchup considered unwinnable at the start of the season. The dive comes through, and Hylissang takes basically his whole health bar to the turret and the Hemo Plague. He goes down for the 1-for-1. You'd think it'll be over now, Deficio, but it kept go.
Oh, they want the turret, and Xmithie wants to defend it, so they start fighting. Caps returns to the top lane in the 2v1, and Xmithie plays this one very well.
Yep.
Once Bwipo is there, he knocks him back under the turret and even body slams and kicks him back in again, but it's just not enough to kill him, and now you just have all of Team Liquid running towards the top lane. Olleh is there alone, can't do anything. We're back to life because basically everyone else just kind of died. Doublelift got 1 kill, but then Fnatic got a bunch more.
It's a Rage Blade Kog'Maw with a red buff. Impact still licking his wounds at the top side. Trinity Force plus Hex Drinker makes Bwipo very strong. It's level 11 Vladimir about to face the duo lane.
And I think we got to give Impact some credit for surviving so often, or at least trading 1-for-1. Like, he's been attacked multiple times, starting already at level 1 when they had a trade in the enemy jungle. But he's gotten 3 kills. Yes, he's down in CS, that's a problem, but he's at least getting some gold.
My struggle with comments like that, though, is they gave him counterpick. He's supposed to have the aggression. The matchup is Doublelift.
Yeah, just gets into Bwipo. That should be a kill under the Kog'Maw. Olleh sadly takes it away. Maybe was afraid for his teammate's life. There's something gets picked up, but you've got Fnatic still pushing around the map. This top lane likely to fall.
If we're going to talk about Ashe Soraka and criticize Flash, you have to say the same thing about going for the last pick Vladimir, and while he's been good on the defensive execution, it was about winning lane that last pick on the red side was selected.
But we have to look at a game where Fnatic have sent Caps top lane level 3, Broxah top lane. We now see the swap of the AD carry and support come up there. Like, he's been under siege during this game, and Team Liquid have not been able to respond. to all the pressure coming from Fnatic in this early game, because now it's Team Liquid with the scaling from the bottom side. And Xmithie also with the jungle pick that typically do not want to fight at Trundle in the early game. Still though, Doublelift got an assist for himself. He's on 210 CS. He is their hope in the late game.
It's a 1,500 gold difference in the bot lane right now. So we talk about a 3-item AD carry requirement like Rekkles' Xayah right here, but with the farm lead, first turret, the 2 kills, he's kind of ahead of the curve and should remain at least as relevant as Doublelift, and especially so when that spike comes in of the 3rd item, which again will be reasonably early into this game. The quick summon of Rift Herald into the mid lane as Fnatic look for something else to knock down. This Infernal Drake up right now. Team Liquid have the choice. Do they rush for this Drake and try to make this play? Despite a bit of a power drop, Impact is behind, can look for caps with the Hemoplague and more. Here comes the hard control into that Drake pit. Here comes the big fight. They separate as Bwipo's on the front side. Can they find the damage? Impact buys a lot of time. Put him outside and Bwipo will fall. It's a 5v4 in the fight now as TL go back in for the Infernal Drake. Xmithie should have this fight without too many difficulties. Picks that one up and can now TL disengage with 1 kill. Xmithie, days might be numbered. A great pillar buys some time, but it's Fnatic disengaging it again.
Oh, look at caps.
Does he make the big play? Pushes in Olleh, but the gray health is on. Still looking for that fight. Looking forward as Impact doesn't get that kill just yet. The team's still forced to disengage. The health bar is so low from TL. Blue buff goes over to, I think, Pobelter. And the body slam out. Fnatic, though, with Broxah. And now with Caps, they can find the play. But Olleh can resuscitate Doublelift, no problem with W available. And I believe it will be. No, the shield's run. Doesn't have the cooldown yet. Just barely gets it. But can he keep him safe? Knocked into the air. Double gets the shield. But they do kill off Olleh. And the TP now coming in. Bwipo rejoins the fight. 5v4 this time for Fnatic, but there is no wave to push with.
Cancel TP from Impact to get in the back line. They were actually controlling the Rift Herald this entire time. Recalls will get off. Bit of a prediction there from Bwipo. But the reason why Fnatic were priced in to keep going, this is the 3rd charge for Shelly.
Well, Fnatic did not manage to get the Infernal Drake. Team Liquid won the initial engage with Impact flanking from the side, I think disrupting a bit of the setup for Fnatic. So Team Liquid double Infernal on their side. Yes, they're down now. It looks tough at the moment, but if they can keep stalling this game, they have some crazy scaling with the Infernal.
And it was a true trade. 2 turrets for the immediate gold, whereas on the other side, of course, the Infernal, the big pickup for TL.
Yeah, that mid turret was taken down. Tier 2 fell to Shelly as we watch this fight again.
Let's see with Impact coming in. They don't know he's there. They all in to kill the Gragas, and now behind them, Vladimir shows up, and a great ulti from Xmithie, knocking Fnatic back.
And that means they can just turn on to Bwipo, who's frontlining like he's a Scion because the fight was changed. The battle lines were changed. And speaking of battle lines, we're back to fighting.
Back to fighting on the front side. Doublelift, though, on the power spike of a Hurricane is a very big deal for an impending battle. As we end the audio of our replay back here. Still things to watch for. Broxah can keep that Kog'Maw contained. Olleh has to play around his Devour cooldown, one that nearly betrayed them in the last fight. Impact shoving in the bot lane, keeping up in farm at least.
And Fnatic really need to play around what they have. Look to the mid lane, very fed Taliyah, with the Weaver's Wall, of course, being very strong and objective taking. An objective game is the cleanest way to play this, because it's double Shirelias, Gragas, and Vladimir. If they're occupying all the time of Taliyah and Xayah, Kog'Maw's at a good item break-even point. There is still a team fight that TL win.
Definitely true, but I think Xmithie with this build is very squishy walking into the first fight. So if Fnatic can actually force a round of Baron, they can turn on him. They don't need to be too scared of hitting the front line of Team Liquid. Normally with Rakan, yeah, you love to send the Rakan into the back line, but in this case, not fully necessary with how quickly they should be able to shut down a Gragas.
Liquid going to be playing around execution quite a lot here. They've got cheeky ways of getting out of this. Xmithie can flash, explosive cast can separate, all that fun stuff. And Tahm Kench can maybe betray your focus fire. Now Cap's pretty deep in the jungle, spotted on this, but the rest of the team is right behind him, so not a play to be made. Looking for the hard engage and not going to get it just yet. Olleh actually doesn't grab the teammate. He never hits the Devour. The bot lane is gone. Hylissang makes the huge play on this one, and the pressure is into the mid lane.
Fnatic, they knew there were no flashes from Doublelift and Olleh, so they saw them in the mid lane. They rushed to them, and they instantly just take them down. Great engage.
It feels like who's flanking who. Changes minute to minute. Looking for Xmithie.
They get the pull back. How good is the damage going to be? A little bit of damage back towards Caps. Explosive cast, but doesn't put him right back in a turret range, so he stays alive. Inhibitor is gone, and there is so much control now for Fnatic.
But we were watching the setup to get to the back line, but the front line was exposed. Doublelift Olleh dead. Backing away now, finally a Fnatic. They have side waves to push up, but now they're at a huge point of power.
Oh, Impact was chasing Caps. He did not find him yet. He's still going for it. Caps will spot him.
Impact does have flash, but no Shurelya's to pop for a few more seconds. Won't get that one in.
All right, big win here for Fnatic. Looking for the targets without flashes. Look at this here, all in, Doublelift. Attacking the Baron. What are you doing?
Taliyah. He's going to take aggro for a while, but the rest of the team is here. Can they get the isolated kill? Olleh wants to save the Grey Hill, but actually pops it as he takes one more shot. So now a support that can't team fight. Xmithie also at 1/3. Tia went for the cheeky play, but could not find their way in.
Very optimistic to go in that way, and the pillar really stuck them in between a rock and a hard place. Xmithie will back away. Another round of recourse required for Olleh here. Could choose to pick up teleport with his Ignite, but probably will just walk back. And Fnatic have control of the Baron pit as Bwipo lies in wait.
Xmithie spots this, but Bwipo, yeah, you can see him waiting to punish this Gragas. Prevent the smite steals. Broxah and Xmithie have been two of the best smiters at MSI 2018. And right now they will not go for the steal attempts.
It's a huge moment for Fnatic. Rekkles completed his third item. Caps is extremely fed on this Taliyah. Can they execute around the Baron? They have not fully cleared the vision outside. Bwipo will find Xmithie. Don't remember, this is a squishy Gragas.
And they're going to land a big chunk of damage because of the health on the Baron. They've got to get this one pretty quickly. 2,500 left. Here comes the re-engage, a TP into the flank. Baron's getting low. It's going to be picked up by Broxah. And here comes the team fight. It's all about Doublelift's damage output, and he does exactly none of it. The Baron cleaned up, and Fnatic have all 5 alive.
Storyline on the back end of today is the improvement in Baron setups. They do pull away around 3,000 health. Only when they see that Xmithie has no way into the pit do they actually commit to the smite. Now they have Baron. Base already in a bit of tatters. Going to be Fnatic looking for the kill on this Baron buff.
And this is Fnatic poised to talk and knock down North America, to take that 4th spot, to get their spot into the knockout phase. Finally, a good game out of Rekkles, an amazing one, like it has been all tournament for Caps. 5-1 and 5, huge on the Taliyah. Looking now at this Infernal Drake.
Impact is top without TP, so Infernal Drake should go over to Fnatic. But that Rekkles point is so huge. The most criticized player of all of MSI over the last few days. A lot of criticism towards him. Champion picks, the way he played. But the Xayah Rakan, a combination that Fnatic did not want to pick yesterday when they had the chance, has been very big because they've given them another lane to play around in the early game.
Honestly, a pretty isolated bot lane, and they did fantastic work in that way. Sometimes seen as a snowball lane, but when you also know there's no chance of a response by the enemy jungler, and make your own plays as well. Hylissang, a great game alongside him. Continue to push forward as the cannon minion here with the Baron buff doing a lot of work.
And how good is this going to be as Fnatic look to take everything they can off this Baron? 2 minutes still on that buff. Here comes the Weaver's Wall to separate. Doublelift cannot join this fight easily. This is going to be a very rapidly decaying turret here. And no flank for Impact either, and him now opened up.
TL really wants to go here, but it's Fnatic going.
They get the double knockup, but Doublelift is over to too far. Xmithie is gone, but how about the backline access? Can they kill off the carries? So far the answer is no. Broxah is way too tanky. Impact forced to run. 5 alive versus 4. Inhibitor is down.
Able to wait out the Hemo Plague. No value from it. Just going to be a second inhibitor, but then knocking on the door of top 4 and that spot in Paris.
This extremely squishy Gragas is simply not able to be a frontline for Team Liquid. Fnatic, they've learned now. Just go for him, kill him every single time. There was a potential good fight for Team Liquid if they could get onto Caps, who was missing his flash, and Impact was there on the side. But the moment the fight started, Fnatic just bursted down Xmithie.
And with the Weaver's Wall, Impact was tilted away quite a long time. There was no easy access to go for the AoE Hemo Plague and occupy space. You watch the replay when it comes to TL, who needs to lead. It's so tricky.
Yeah, let's see the engage once again here from Fnatic. Xmithie wants to get in and try and shoot back to Taliyah, but he never even gets the chance. Instantly he dies, and that is now a 1 fight for Fnatic.
And as they just keep chasing on this one down, Impact just can't get enough done. The health bar is simply too high, and no one was there to fight the backline. That replay brought to you by Acer Predator and brought to you by Fnatic, predating on Team Liquid right now. Another turret to fall, looking to take inhibitor number 2. The Baron buff still on for this wave.
Such a big gold lead at this point in the game. 29 minutes in, 12,000 gold. Doublelift has his 3 items. I don't think it'll matter because him free hitting seems impossible.
Well, he's going to try, and with the Infinity Edge done now, he's got squishy killing as a potential. 50% crit, and they do a lot of damage. Not a ton of uptime on the W, but if he can hit the targets, he can shred them. It is still all about Doublelift. Impact's AP not high enough, but Doublelift's attack damage is.
Right now, the minions in bot lane still slowly pushing in. They can survive this wave. Can TL, no one needs to be moved yet.
Fnatic can still just go for the mid inhib, which just respawn here, and then you don't have to deal with a turret on your side. Flash is available on all the carries. Baron will still be quite a while before it respawns. Xmithie, flash available, could look for a big engage.
You can see Doublelift is a huge threat right there. There's enough crowd control to set up these targets a little bit. Fnatic's overall 5-on-5, of course, so strong, and Caps can one-shot people if he lands his combo right. Kites away from the barrel, a big power play, almost gets Xmithie. Impact looking for the play-in, not going to go for this one. Shirelli has popped on both of the frontliners here, and that turret is one shot away from dead as Doublelift clears the wave.
But they did manage to defend here. Team Liquid still kind of defended.
Separates to the top side, actually wants to go for some turret damage here, which means he's going to engage for Team Liquid. They get a bit of isolation. Rekkles kite swim, and Hylissang is dead, and they're going to keep the dog alive. 5v4, turret falls, Cap still alive. Doublelift looking for his next target, maybe the flash forward. Bwipo might just run out of health. He gets another one down as Doublelift gets that one, and now Caps has to run away. Doublelift has to respect the damage output as Olleh's on the flank. Team Liquid might find a 3-for-0 on this one, but they have lost part of their base. Pobelter is low, and Olleh gonna bring in a target. They're gonna get that third kill. The base, though, is in shambles.
Caps fully committing on a solo mission to take the top lane inhibitive turret while the rest of his team didn't pull back at the same time. Actually gives over gold, precious gold, to TL that they had no right claiming. It's not enough to create a sea change, but it's a start.
Yeah, Fnatic did get the mid inhib down towards the end. I think as long as they can secure the next Baron or just go straight for the top inhib, they don't care about giving a little bit of extra gold over to Team Liquid, but obviously that is the one way TL can start a comeback, is crazy base defense against Fnatic and their onslaught.
I mean, Caps fully commits. He's going topside. He can't even rejoin this fight, and TL do the one thing they can do. They can rush in quickly. It's double Shirelias and a Karma in a 5v5 when just a single Q can DPS down the Gragas. It doesn't work. This time, it works much better.
That flank from Impact down the base gate, really crucial as well. Sets up that kill that Doublelift grabs, and Double actually gets all three in this fight. That's a big surge of gold for the primary carry.
So important that Doublelift saved his flash. Does not make him an easy target to aim for. Same thing for Pobelter in the next fight. Olleh is gonna be stuck in a tough situation where he can only devour one target, but Fnatic's engage can actually hit multiple with the Rakan from Hylissang.
At least all three backline carries of Liquid do have flash, but Fnatic still have bags of gold on their side. 10,000 up with double inhibitor down. They have absolute map control. The Baron is almost a foregone conclusion. Liquid are going to be rarely able to leave their base.
A bit of time because of the respawn timers, but that can be cleared in one round of sweepers if Fnatic are on point with that. Full court press, everything pushing in, and TL, whatever they decide to do, they can't they have to fully commit. Weaver's Wall.
Oh,
Does split Pobelter.
Yeah, but Olleh, that's the one that is important to get over. If Tahm Kench makes it, he can pull someone across.
There's a lot of wards from TL around the Baron to see if anything's happening, but they're gonna do Blast Cone Trick into it. So TL did not see them walk by down here on the bottom side. They don't actually know if the Baron is started just yet. They're on their way.
Spawning right now, and they see that actually not all of them blasted over, if anyone even did. Blue Trinket used by Fnatic, actually checking for a Death Crush there. And now Caps surfing forward, looking maybe for Double, who is on the front line. This could be scary. Gets pulled back in. Where's your teammate? There is Olleh. Health bar still pretty high on Doublelift, but does not have lifesteal.
Fnatic moving back towards the Baron. The bot lane in here, perfect timing for Team Liquid, just respawned, making it a little bit easier for them to defend. Fnatic, though, they're in the Baron pit.
And they're rushing it down so fast, no one's arranged to stop them. Hylissang even there to keep the rest of the team out. He can stop Xmithie, no problem, but doesn't spot the teammate. Doesn't matter, it's picked up. Explosive cast not in range. Hylissang in half, though. And Olleh is around. Doublelift can frontline, no problem, like Uzi does so often. Either way, it is a clean Baron, 1,500 gold to Fnatic, and the buff for 3.5 minutes.
It is 4 items onto Doublelift, and Race the Puppy is what's going to be needed to meet the ultimate Puppy Master, that is Uzi for RNG, as the likely opponent if TL are able to pick up the victory. Compensatory Drake here, the Mountain Drake, will help them push, and a pushing job is going to be required. They spent most of this game down, multiple inhibitors.
A little surprised not to see Liquid actually grab mid-turret real quick. They had the words to know they weren't getting flanked, but I think they chose the safer option, deny the mountain, and now they've got a base defense once again.
Yeah, they're getting ready for the final fight. If Team Liquid lose this 5-on-5, it is over. They are knocked out of MSI. Fnatic are pushing in. Could look to secure all the inhibs first and guarantee even more pressure later, but Doublelift level 16, he's ready to fight.
Isolation on Xmithie down to 1/2 HP, and this could be the front line. Doublelift is going to get knocked up with the Prelude, looking for the re-engage. Olleh is going to save him, but the health bar is low. Impact, the early Sanguine pool into zone needs to not get found up by Hylissang, but this could be a ton of burst damage flash to stay alive, but a lot of health bars and cooldowns missing now for Liquid, but Caps low as well. Redemption keeps him afloat.
Olleh behind.
Olleh brings in one, but this is going to be very dangerous. His Impact once again on the pool, and a kill comes across. This could be the fight that sends Fnatic to the top 4. Impact taken down, a double for Rekkles, and 5v3 could send Fnatic into the knockout stage. Doublelift low, looking for someone to kill. Bwipo on the front lines, crits though. This could almost be a kill. Oh, it's not going to matter. 4 in a row for the MVP of the European LCS, and Rekkles and the rest of the team will send themselves to the knockout stage. They will extinguish Team Liquid's hope. Fnatic make it to the top 4. They're going to Paris.
Servant win here for Fnatic. They're not celebrating yet. They know there's still so much of MSI to be played for them, but the criticisms went team-wide. Caps had a down day, Rekkles a down tournament. They turn it around when they need to, and all that roaming paid off as the front line just couldn't stay alive long enough for the Kog'Maw to carry.
And it's so important for Fnatic and for Rekkles that he grabs the Xayah. They play Xayah Rakan. They have an aggressive bot lane, and it works. 9-0-2 in the end. Fnatic have been looking for that second carry all tournament long, and they find him in the very last tiebreaker game.
And it's a tournament where we've talked about trust a lot for Team Liquid to begin, because of course Olleh subbing himself out and all the struggles they had, the trust falls weren't there. I think there's almost that same analogy with the Xayah Rakan not being completed last time, but the trust once again comes together, the lovers reunited, and they will send the European team to MSI semifinals.
Rekkles definitely did show up KDA-wise, 9-0-2, damage tied with Caps. But I do still think Fnatic have had one overperformer in the mid lane. This has been the breakout tournament for that mid laner. Caps, a newly crowned European champion, and absolutely massive. 5-2-9 was involved in almost everything.
I think you're 100% correct, but also Broxah in the jungle. What a tournament. The guy you don't always notice when Fnatic plays. It's always about the 2 big carries, but this tournament here has been very solid from his side, and another good game here on the Trundle.
Well, let's spare a thought for Team Liquid, who are eliminated after this result. Remember, TL were a laughingstock a few days ago. It seemed like this would be a tournament. It will be a very dark day for North America. They come back. They do force a tiebreaker for 4th. So in some ways, they are able to reestablish a lot of those hometown fans' hopes. They couldn't quite get there, but they were close.
And that's the crazy thing, as you mentioned. I think every North American fan was just like, all right, we've written them off. You know what?
Yep.
All the Canadians were like, I'm glad you didn't put the Canadian flag in your jerseys. We're not represented by this 0-4 garbage fire. But yeah, they made the comeback start happening. I mean, they went like 4-2 or something on the back half. Like, that was a really good run. And suddenly everyone was like believing. And then Evos gets the win on Fnatic. And Liquid fans like, well, what if it really happens? Of course, you got this close and it couldn't come through. Fnatic deserving that win in the end.
100%. Doublelift did not make it out of groups. However, he
It's an international tournament that he can remember, right?
He looked so good in a lot of these games. He was the main carry for Team Liquid, and all their compositions were built around him. And in this one here, he was under a lot of fire, a lot of pressure. He got a bunch of kills for himself, but he could not get TL to the win.
Couldn't quite get over the line. Most damage in the game, but it's not going to be it. That is the end of the tournament now for Team Liquid, but Fnatic will move on. And let's send it to Shox and hear what Fnatic's mid laner thinks about securing 4th place.
Thank you very much, guys. I am joined by Caps, who again had a huge game for Fnatic. It took... Caps, it took blood, sweat, and tears once again. What does it mean to you to finally, after these hellish 2 days, come through and make it to Paris?
It means so much. I feel like it's been like a roller coaster where we like win 2 games, lose 2 games, and the games have been back and forth so much. We lost 3 games in a row, so NA would have false hope. But in the end, we just pulled out the same comps we played before, and we managed to pull it off.
So this indeed, as you say, it looked more like the comps that you want to play in the champions, for instance, the Xayah Rakan combo that people wanted to see. How important is that confidence boost you get off this going forward?
I mean, it's really good, especially because we're going up against NG and we're going to need all the confidence we need. I think that NG is obviously a really strong opponent, so we lost to them last Worlds, and if we want to have any chance of beating them now, we're going to have to give it all.
I love how you already think, well, they're going to pick us anyway because RNG has to pick their opponent between Kingzone and you guys. We'll see later how that will be like. I want to turn the attention towards you for just a little bit. The story has been all about Caps as a singular carry up until now. In this game, you did get to be joined by Rekkles, who had a monstrous game on Xayah. But when it comes to you, do you think your performance in the group stage was MVP worthy? Because at many moments, it looked like it. And then in some moments, it didn't quite look like it.
Yeah, except for that the game 4 and 5, I think, were just all bad games, I think. I think it's just 4 games where I just performed really poorly. But I think every other game was really good for me, and I don't know what exactly went off those 2 days, but we're gonna work out on improving it, and it's gonna be really good now that we have like a few days to practice new champions, and maybe we'll see some fun things in players.
Let's hope so. Finally, the fans here have been cheering for you all the time. Is there anything you want to say to them now that you've qualified?
I want to say thanks to all the fans. It was so fun, especially when I was watching the NG game. There were so many NG fans all of a sudden. So that was really fun to watch. And thank you, guys.
Fantastic. Well, it's Fnatic that makes it through and is the final team in our top 4. Thank you very much, Caps.
Thank you.
Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Shocks. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to MSI tonight after our last day of the group stage and, of course, our final tiebreaker, as we just saw. Fnatic almost losing their opportunity to make it to the knockout stage earlier today. They're gifted the chance to come up against the NA squad, and they absolutely decimate them to secure that 4th and final spot.
Huge redemption story, frankly, for Fnatic, and especially for their AD carry and Rekkles, finally grabbing the Lovers duo, echoing some of what Papa Xmithie was talking about, seeing that incredible Xayah performance, and Rekkles finally stood up and delivered to his European fans.
Yeah, he played incredibly well, and for North America, once again, we find the way to get the maximum possible amount of disappointment.
I, for one, was heavily entertained.
Yeah, I mean, you can see in the game it was a different-looking Fnatic.
Yeah.
I know Rekkles probably had to absorb more criticism than any other player in the tournament, specifically for his champion pool. So pulling out the Xayah Rakan in the last game is a good sign for their progression in this tournament. But man, for Team Liquid, it's the international tiebreakers that just keep destroying North America. We keep thinking about it all the way back to 2014 when Cloud9 was trying to play Najin in that tiebreaker. They lost for first place in the group. It just keeps happening. You can go through it. But
that's
really
what these
painful.
big tournaments come down to, right? Is stepping up in pressure moments.
Clutch.
And at the end, being clutch. And at the end of the day, it's the EU team, and history has shown that NA is not, at least not yet, capable of
100%.
stepping up in those pressure moments.
Completely so. And what kind of kills me, in watching this game is seeing, the Team Liquid that I predicted was not the Team Liquid we saw. And I'm not even talking about individual mistakes. I'm talking purely about the draft, right? Yes, it does come down to pressure, and everything inside the game, and they kind of failed there too. But it felt like we saw, hey, 1-3-1, these split push style teams picking for lane for impact does not work. Team Liquid are like, yep, all right, we're gonna go to this, mid lane wave clear. We're gonna have, a solid tank at the top lane for impact, both in NALCS and here. That is what has worked for them. So to see the game with all the marbles on the line here, Vladimir as a counter pick in lane was really shocking for me, and I was very disappointed also in Impact's play in that final game.
Yeah, and there's two sides to every coin as well. I'm impressed by Fnatic's ability to be resilient after losing to EVOS a couple hours before they had to play the tiebreaker game.
Right.
Feeling crushed, like they could have had it in their hands, like they wouldn't even have to play Team Liquid. And also, we see this at MSI now. No one has ever finished a group stage better than 8-2. And 4-6 has always gotten you at least a tiebreaker for the group stage. When you have an elite tournament like this, with the very best team from every single region, it can make very good teams look bad.
Yeah.
And North America is the victim of this very often because they are not up to par when compared with the top teams from these other regions, especially in clutch situations. But to their credit, they did make it very close after the 1-5 start.
Yeah, very much so. Of course, we're waiting to hear who RNG will select, but we've been kind of throwing around the idea that it seems pretty obvious they would have picked the winner of this game itself.
And I think a huge issue is kind of going back to that idea, consistency. When I think about the Western teams and their their international performances, you still do have those bright flashes in the pan. But it's the inability to chain them together and consistently front a very solid performance. And unfortunately, I think, again, that was just another trend at this MSI, but that doesn't mean the talent's not there. It's just, if it's a mental block, if it's an emotional thing, if it's communication, or even just something as simple as draft, you guys have the talent. You can see that in players like Doublelift and Caps. Just get it to consistently perform or consistently get on the right foot.
The thing is, it's more than just talent, right? As we have seen, I won't argue that there is, a lot of talented players in the NALCS, in the ULCS, but, speaking about NA in particular, you have to think, it's to draft, it's to mental fortitude, it's to, how clutch are you, can you deal with the pressure? Like, there's so many different factors that come into it, and, it's not just about how good are you in the comfort of your own home, playing, with no pressure on the line. These players look very different, right? It's very easy to say, oh, well, Olleh doesn't normally play like that, NA is much better than this, they would normally win that game, or whatever, but that's how he played in this game, and that is what you have to kind of work with, right? Because it's not that same game when there's so much pressure on the line.
Yeah, and with Team Liquid being out of the tournament now, we're going to have more time to talk about Fnatic as they move on to Paris and most likely play RNG. I do want to kind of reflect a little bit on what Team Liquid has been like as a team. In the North American LCS, they had struggles when they played compositions like this one, and they honed in specifically on bottom lane priority team compositions with CC from other roles. Now, Doublelift talks about wanting to win Worlds. And I don't think you're going to win Worlds playing that one-dimensionally, so I understand the way they want to diversify their strategy a little bit. And I think for them going forward, it stings terribly right now. This is just a reminder of all of the bad feelings of the past. But this was also better than the past, right? It wasn't because Doublelift flashed forward in a really dumb situation and threw away a goal lead against Samsung. It was actually hard carrying a game against Flash Rules even to force this. And as they move into the summer split, I would like to see them just make their strategy slightly more flexible, but not change the goal of it. We know Doublelift, and I think he proved in this tournament, he can be a world-class international AD carry.
Right.
And you just need to get a little bit more out of those other positions.
Would it be fair to say that RNG is somewhat an example of a team that Team Liquid wants to grow into? Because it seems
think so.
The way that RNG's
Hilariously, I
been
was thinking the
playing,
exact
to some
thing.
degree, is fairly one-dimensional. It's all about putting, resources into Uzi and protecting him, except for they have maybe 12 different looks.
It's like,
to do that.
Exactly. You're this narrow or you're this narrow.
Right.
there is still a difference in having a little bit of flexibility.
Right, and if we talk about, the importance of stepping up and being, an MVP-style player, it is a guy like Uzi that you're looking at. When it comes down to, they were in a pressure situation as well today. Granted, not the same one. It wasn't to get into the knockout stage. They similarly had pressure on their shoulders today to try and secure that top seed, and you could see it. In all of these games, Uzi saying, hey, no problem. I'll step up and carry this, no problem. If you guys do what's necessary to keep me protected, I will win this game for you.
But that's actually only a recent development from Uzi. I understand that the international lens sees him make all of these world finals and really show up on an international stage. Supposedly they're the LPL team that really rise to the occasion. But Uzi himself has said in interviews, I got to sit down with him, you even heard it from the RNG members when they were interviewed, that their biggest enemy is themselves. That there was a mental block. Uzi talks about his emotions, how they put him into a haze, and sometimes when he would see that lead get away from him, he would let go. He would go for the Ash picks instead of stepping up and saying, no, give me the Vayne, give me these champions that I'm famous for and carry. But this is why Uzi is so terrifying right now, because he finally won his LPL championship, and all of that momentum and that confidence is what you're seeing being played on the international stage today.
And I liked Papa Xmithie talking about trust falls, because there were many trust falls between Ming and Uzi, which they nailed, right? The support,
Countless.
taking Ash arrows exactly when you need to. They're both going in together. And for Rekkles and Hylissang as well, they wavered throughout the tournament, but right at the end, it felt like they did come together again. And right at the end, it felt like Doublelift and Olleh fell apart. Like, that's been such a dicey relationship for them that's been hot and cold. And unfortunately for them, it ended on a cold note.
And I have to say, while it was the duo that failed inevitably, a lot more of that is on Olleh's shoulder for me, at least in this particular game. I thought he had a very lackluster performance. His Devourers were either not there or poorly timed. Some of his Tahm Kench ultimates were very questionable. But at the end of the day, Fnatic is the victor, and I think deservedly so. And it's about the team play for them, right? at the end of the day, there was a lot of focus on this. Caps has to carry. Forget about Rekkles. Rekkles is not going to be able to do it. He's not performing. Yes, Caps is enabling him, but Fnatic has not lost confidence in their AD carry at any point throughout this tournament. They have allowed him to pick what he wants to pick. They have allowed him to play what he wants to play. And here, in the biggest moment, he's on the Xayah, and they enable him. They put him ahead, and he's able to really pay back that confidence and that faith that they have in him.
Yeah, and I also want to credit Bwipo in this moment.
Yeah.
Broxah.
Yeah, but I agree, Broxah. He's also been to an international tournament before.
Oh, I get it.
Bwipo played like 6 or 7 games. There's so many teams where if your veteran top laner like Soaz breaks his hand or has a cast on and can't play for a month, and it's like, oh yeah, the sub top laner, he's just going to be at MSI. Like, the fact that we didn't even have that conversation, the fact that we weren't saying, wow, Bwipo is the reason Fnatic's losing, and the fact that that was never the excuse or the scapegoat.
Yeah,
when Fnatic was struggling, they were talking about Rekkles. Really, what he did was pretty remarkable. There's 2 top laners that did this, Hanami and Bwipo, this tournament. Really impressed by their ability to stand up under pressure.
Experience is a discussion we can continue having. I'm going to jump in here, though, because to get our matchups for the semifinals, let's go to the main stage where Shox is ready with Uzi and Sword Art.
Thank you very much, guys. Indeed, we are finally going to find out what our semifinals in Paris are going to look like, as our first seed, RNG, gets to choose between Kingzone and Fnatic who they would like to face. So first, I want to welcome our second seed and our first seed out of the group stage to the stage, Uzi from RNG and Sword Art from the Flash Wolves. Now this is the moment Uzi and RNG have decided who they want to play in the semifinals. Uzi, who do you want to play?
Fnatic.
Fnatic will go up versus RNG. You can go over to your competitor and Sword Art. This means that the Flash Wolves will go up versus Kingzone. You can stand next to Gorilla. And these are our matchups for the semifinals, so I immediately want to get a reaction. Caps, I talked to you just 5 minutes ago. You said, hey, it's going to be RNG. What do you make of the fact that it is now going to be RNG? Are you feeling more hopeful?
So this is actually our second best of 5 against NG, and last time we weren't able to pull out the wins, but we were able to get some early game leads. So hopefully we have improved since then, and we can snowball on our leads.
Are you confident you can win?
I'm confident we will show up, put up a fight.
Confident that you can put up a fight. I also have to go to the other side. Gorilla, you will be going up against Sword Art and the Flash Wolves, who gave you a rough time in the group stage. What are your thoughts towards that matchup?
준결승전에 Flash Wolves을 만나게 됐는데 어떤 생각이신가요?
일단 그룹 스테이지에서 저희가 2대0으로 좋은 모습을 보여드리지 못했는데 일단 상대가 누구든 간에 일단 저희의 폼을 최대한 끌어올려서 비록 이제 FW 만났지만 꼭 좋은 경기력으로 다시 찾아뵙고 싶습니다.
So even if I've lost our 2 games against Flash Wolves during the group stage, we will pull out our performance, our usual performance again to show you our best form during the semifinals.
Okay, we will be looking forward to it. We'll get a reaction from the other members as well later. But for now, give it up for your semifinals. Flash Wolves versus Kingzone and Fnatic versus RNG.
There you have them, our semi-final matches as predicted. We've got, of course, RNG versus Fnatic and then Flash Wolves versus Kingzone. I want to start with RNG versus Fnatic. This is a rematch from Worlds in which Fnatic was knocked out in that best of 5.
And there is a bit of a tension. Chinese fans all the way going back, when they refer to Fnatic, because there was the old Fnatic taking down Edward Gaming with the deft performance there, playing the teleport Jace. So there's always kind of been this animosity almost, that if it's an LPL team going toe-to-toe with Fnatic, that a little bit of the pressure is on. I know it's a rematch. It went in favor last time with RNG, but it is very fun for the fans.
I mean, come on, we could see some trepidation there in Caps' face as he was mustering the confidence to say, we'll put up the best fight we can.
I mean, RNG is definitely terrifying, but one thing I will say is a pretty big difference from how Fnatic looked at Worlds versus how they have looked here. I would say the single player in this tournament whose stock in my eyes has risen during this tournament the most is Caps, right? This guy has been an absolute monster. You know, even if he is not the tournament MVP, that's probably Uzi for me. I would say that the level of performance that he has brought to this tournament has been incredible. Yes, he had an off game or two, but his highs have been so incredibly high. And I think against a team like RNG, you need a difference maker like Caps to really stand a chance. And if you can't win that bot lane 2v2, hey, maybe Caps on Taliyah can slide on down there and change things up.
Yeah, and I like how they sent Caps out there instead of Rekkles as well, because
Yeah.
I really feel like he was their main carry this tournament so far. And of all of the teams in the knockout stage, they're the ones that got there without monumental performances from their AD carries in a lot of games. Uzi was all about him. When Kingzone was winning, it was all about Prey. But to Frost Current's point, I do think it's interesting. Last year at MSI, it was actually G2 versus Team WE in the semifinals. The regional matchups of the semifinal is identical to last year. So I think we're still in for some pretty entertaining games.
There's a ton of history here. There's absolutely a ton of history here. And if we look at the other semifinal matchup, we got the Flash Wolves against Kingzone. It was already mentioned by Shox that this was the 2-0 that Flash Wolves had in the group stage already over Kingzone.
The Korean killers.
International history, it goes back as well to the last time we were in Europe, where Flash Wolves was in the group with the Rocks Tigers, which, by the way, was Sword Art and Maple on that team against Prey and Gorilla in the bottom lane. And they beat them twice. And then you go back to this group stage, they beat them twice more. Hey, that's the best of 5, man. It's not quite that simple. It's definitely
All right,
not quite
count
that
it.
simple.
So they're in the finals,
there
I
it is.
guess.
All right,
Wow,
so then we
congrats.
only have to play one semifinal.
There's a level there where you can actually be a little bit concerned. And I'm more concerned now for Kingzone than I was for SKT when SKT went 6-4.
Wow.
How can we say that it's still the... yes, I understand it, but I'm
more concerned.
Okay,
I'm
more
careful
concerned.
with my language.
Khan
I'm
has
not-
been bad at this tournament compared to his regional performance.
3 out of 10. Solid 3 out of 10.
Yeah, and
Solid 3
Cuz
out of 10.
was not their best jungler. He's played the last 3 games. Will it be Cuz? Will it be Peanut? Also, the last time we had a Korean team go 6-4, we finished group stage on a Sunday. This time it's on a Tuesday. And I want to see the schedule. Seriously, you're saying the Korean teams are going to retool and relearn the meta. 2 days versus 4 days with the travel day in between is a lot less time.
Yeah.
So and they clearly don't have together. They actually ended pretty poorly.
There's a whole lot that goes into it, but we got 2 semifinal matchups that are completely wrapped in history. To hear more about the draw, let's send it over to Shox, who's standing by with Uzi.
Thank you very much indeed with Uzi, who picked Fnatic, which was not the biggest surprise out of the choices available. Uzi, you did have the upper hand over Fnatic now here at the group stage, as you did at Worlds. Do you think Fnatic will be able to put up a bit better of a fight in the best of 5 versus you guys this time around?
那么我们现在看到你选择了 Fnatic 这支战队，那么你们之前和他们在世界赛也好，在这届 MSI 也好交战都是有优势的。那你觉得现在你们和 Fnatic 在 BO5 交手，他们会不会有拿出更好的表现来应对你们？
就是因为之前我们很多的都是和 Fnatic 去打世界赛嘛，所以说我们可能更了解他们一点，所以说也很期待他们有新的东西吧。
So it's a really familiar opponent for us. We play so many times and we know them really well. I hope they can bring up a fight.
We will see what happens. Uzi, you came as a champion from the LPL for the very first time. You're #1 in the group stage. You got to pick your own opponent. It looks like the stars are really lining up. Are you starting to believe that this could be the moment that you step up and take that international title at MSI?
那么你今年也拿了 LPL 的冠军，然后你 MSI 也是小组第1，然后你有主动的选择权去选择你的对手，所以你现在会觉得你离自己第1个世界比赛的这个冠军会比较近吗？
我觉得我准备好了，我也觉得冠军在等着我。
So I'm ready. I'm waiting for the champion. Championship is waiting for me.
Fantastic championship waiting for Uzi. One final question. The other semifinal is now Kingzone versus Flash Wolves, because of your doing, because you sent Flash Wolves towards Kingzone. What is your prediction for that match?
那么接下来另外一组的对手是 KZ 和 Flash Wolves。那你觉得那组的胜者会是谁？
其实我觉得两个队都有可能获胜吧，而且我很期待他们的比赛，所以说我很希望看到他们两个队的比赛。对。
I think both teams have a chance to win, and I'm really looking forward to their match. Like I'm actually gonna watch their games.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Uzi. Congratulations, RNG absolutely on fire. And you heard it from the man. He's ready. Back over to you guys.
Thank you, Shox. An incredible amount of deserved confidence coming out of Uzi here as he still searches for his first international title.
Yeah, that is the difference between Uzi last year and Uzi this year. I've never heard him give that forward of an answer. You know, I hope they put up a fight against us. I'm actually going to watch the opponent's game, so a lot of momentum behind him.
Well, we've seen incredible plays throughout this group stage. In our next segment, we honor the unsung heroes of the MSI group stage. Sometimes it's not about getting the kills, but being able to say, I'm helping. Kingzone's Gorilla proved this as he used his teleport and ultimate to set up the play. Let's take a look. Brought to you by State Farm.
Here comes the Abyssal Voyage.
And now it's 4 on top of less. This could be an easy one. The flash forward, near sight of kill comes through, and Uzi has nowhere to go. Khan shows up, TP's in just to say, hello, I am here. I'd like a bit of XP, and that turret is going to fall.
And honestly, that entire composition was just so sick to watch. Yeah, Gorilla used the cool teleport, TPing to mid, gobbling up, and then carrying his carry down bottom. But there was TP tops, there was TP bottoms, and it was one of the first times that we really got to see a 4 TP squad make work.
Yeah, I mean, we showed up to this tournament, and then all of a sudden there's TPs on Ezreal's. We've got the spellbook supports. I mean, the meta in and of itself has been so surprising to watch evolve throughout the entirety of the tournament so far.
I just gotta say, we've gotten so many of the things I feel like I've heard people asking for a long time. We've had these aggressive picks. We've gotten lots of Yasuo. We've gotten carry tops. We've gotten carry junglers. We've gotten, you know, new stuff in the bottom lane. This TP Ezreal, the double tier build. Like, it has been an extremely cool tournament to watch.
Now, throughout the group stage, we've seen the very best of League of Legends. Let's take a look at the main highlights in our Acer Big Plays. First up, RNG star AD carry Uzi showed some quick reflexes against Kingzone. The Tech Zero used big words to describe the play, saying Uzi's footwork is godlike.
It's going to be bottom lane. Gorilla going in onto Uzi, dropping the Ignite, able to find the initiation. Uzi with an expert dodge to get away as Ming gets out as well.
So you can see that Gorilla has the ulti, he has the flash and W engage. Ming knocks Prey away to mitigate as much damage as possible. And here, the ulti onto Gorilla, and then flash misplay from Prey, but also a good dodge from Uzi.
I mean, that play, I feel like, is when Uzi really started to show up at MSI. He was in potentially losing matchup. Because he was able to stay alive in that play, it allowed him to hit his item power spikes and really take over that game. And there was no looking back after that. He was undefeated.
Ultimate. A ton of tremendous outplays using that Kai'Sa ultimate throughout the tournament. Next up, Fnatic's jungler became the big hero for his team as he managed to secure 2 Baron steals against Flash Wolves. At Sayway767 tweeted, Broxah, he'll steal your girl and your Baron.
Want to try to shut him down. Baron down to about 1K. Where's it going to go? They got it for Fnatic!
Nice, big nerd as well. Holy shit, Broxah fucking smurfing, by the way.
We'll see if he can pull it off here again. TP coming in. Flash was looking to... Oh my god! Oh man! He does it! Broxah, the hero of Fnatic!
Thank you. Nice. Holy shit. I can take the bait. They're actually just carrying us. As always. Yeah.
I mean, you heard it from the teams themselves. Broxah is smurfing, carrying us as always. We talked about consistency and clutch moments. He's the unsung hero of Fnatic.
Yeah, without a doubt, plenty of smite steals coming in throughout the group stages. Finally, one player that stepped up in the group stage was Flash Wolves top laner Hanabi. Let's take a look at his insane Yasuo play during a key team fight versus Kingzone.
Great devour from Swordite, keeps his AD carry alive, gets away, Yasuo in the front line, gets 2, and it's a great fight for Flash Wolves.
Blanks around right behind them. They're able to get the huge knockup that is triggering the Yasuo. Actually, Hanabi got his own knockup right there. He had charged it off the minions and got it onto the priority targets.
I mean, this was just insane. Not only just this play, but the fact that, you know, coming into this tournament, Khan's supposed to be unmatched top laner in these carry matchups, and he picks the Yasuo into him. He blasts Kingzone with it. It was just incredible to watch.
Ultra impressive performance. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got coming up for the knockout stage in Paris. On Friday, it's a rematch of the World's quarterfinals between Fnatic and RNG, followed by Flash Wolves versus Kingzone on Saturday. The day after, we'll crown our MSI champions as we close out the knockout stage in the Zenith Arena. We've already teed up the matchup, so we're not going to do any more. So now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Friday for more MSI 2018. Good night.
Here comes a heroic entrance, and Gorilla escapes with his life. Caps gets 1, for 2. Oh, Caps' Yasuo is beautiful. Flashes in for the parlay, but it's not a parlay he's looking for. It's the death of Fnatic, and Kingzone crush Fnatic to qualify for the semifinals. Oh, that is actually disgusting damage. But with the Void Staff from Nomicon, are you kidding me? Uzi sends his regards. RNG qualify for the semifinals in Paris. He's turning one back. Doublelift gets feasted with the shield. The heals. He survives. That's a double kill, chasing all the way forward. It's a triple kill.
Right here, Slingshot's coming over. Not going to find the knockup just yet. Windwall gets rid of some of what Muja wants to do and pulls him back in. Ash Arrow's going to land, though, and it stops him in his tracks, push them right back in. Uzi's been massive in his own right. Here we are, 30 seconds in. First place tiebreaker. And they might get one Drowsy, not just yet. They've got Sword Art, the barrier pop, and the kill comes through. In the back lane going to fall. That's Graves. Evaporated one. They're going to look for the second. They've got that a double for Uzi, looking for number 3. He's going to find it. Can he get more? They'll never give up. Make the run through the back half of the group stage. They will claim the number 1 seed, crushing Flash Wolves under their heel. He's got to respect the damage output. They've got Bwipo in their sights. He flashes, and he cannot get it. First blood. But he's got to respect Caps. The flash forward. The damage might just be there. Does finally get one, but Impact needs another, or it's going to be all for nothing. This could be the fight that sends Fnatic to the top 4. Impact taking down a double for Rekkles. They will extinguish Team Liquid's hope. Fnatic make it to the top 4. They're going to Paris.